What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. We've talked a lot about bail reform. You know, Pierre Poilievre is slapping around on bail reform, saying that the Mark Carney government needs to do something about it. We saw the other day as Mark Carney and his cronies, as well as the Bloc, voted down on repealing or amending the bail laws in this country, the jail not bail. This is why we need it. I have to be really careful because the last time we touched about Indian truck drivers in this country, my video got demonetized. If you've been following what's been happening, we've said before that provinces need to start looking into who's issuing these licenses, who's allowing truckers to drive across the country. You know, Donald Trump in the United States, thank God for him at least, said, look, you got to speak English. You have to be properly accredited. No more of this nonsense. Trump came in, I'm not messing around no more. We're not doing it. Shut it down. Get him out of here. Canada, meanwhile, this is up to the provinces. Alberta was cracking down on it. It'd be nice to see something done provincially. And we're going to get into that. Stick with me because there's a little hypocrisy going on with that. But here's Tabletop breaking. Navjeet Singh, of course, from Brampton, international student truck driver who allegedly unalived a mother and daughter in a semi-crash in Manitoba, has falsified trucking logs and fled to India after the crash. Recently got caught returning to Canada and was then granted bail. He stripped this mother and daughter from the earth at a very quiet crossing in Manitoba. And after fleeing the country, he's granted bail. Table salt also, why is an international driving student driving transport trucks? That's a good question. Let's go straight over to the clown news. Good old CTV, so we can see exactly how the lefties try to portray this. Why do you always show different outlets that are left-leaning? For one, so my videos don't get slapped. Second of all, I think it's always funny to get their point of view. So here, not funny in this situation, however. Ontario truck driver who's accused of killing a mother and daughter in a fatal crash near Altona, Manitoba, has been granted bail after previously fleeing the country for months. Months. In November of 24, Mr. Singh was charged with 2 counts of dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, causing death and obstructing peace officers in connection to a collision west of Altona, Manitoba, when he left the country, and a Canada-wide warrant was issued for his arrest. Why was his passport not taken? I don't understand this. I don't understand our judicial system, our legal system. It goes on to say 9 months later, on August 21st, Singh was arrested at Toronto Pearson International Airport after arriving on an Ethiopian Airlines flight. According to police, the next week in a Manitoba courtroom, Singh was released during his bail hearing with several court order conditions. Those conditions include surrendering his driver's license and Indian passport, residing at a specific address in Cambridge, Ontario, and reporting weekly by phone to a representative of the modern RCMP detachment. So why isn't his passport, like this is where I know people are going to say, well, they did request his passport, Fringe. Those things should have to be brought to the courthouse so that when a judge decrees this, it is immediately surrendered. Like if you get sentenced to jail, as far as I'm aware of in a courtroom, you go straight to jail. You don't get to go home and put your feet up for a little bit, you know, get your things together, get your affairs in order. You go straight to jail. So why should you not have to bring those documents to the courtroom in the event that those things are surrendered? Provincial Court Judge Michael Clark referred to the collision as a horrific event, you think? And said that Singh has the potential for a lengthy term of imprisonment if convicted. However, he said Singh is presumed innocent and that reasonable bail is not to be denied without just cause. I do think that the public would maintain confidence in an administration of justice if it were to release Mr. Singh on appropriate conditions, and I will do that, he said. Unbelievable. The Crown Attorney alleged Singh, who was operating a semi-truck at the time, was traveling eastbound on Provincial Road 201 and blew through a stop sign at an intersection of Provincial Road 306, killing 2 occupants of an SUV. Sara Unger of 36 was found dead at the scene while her 8-year-old daughter Alexa was transported by Stars Air Ambulance to the Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg, where she later died, according to the Crown Attorney. Court-heard highway conditions were normal with good visibility. There was no environmental concerns. So just like Humboldt, just like all these other things, 100% at fault. A collision analyst concluded, the semi-truck had been traveling at or above 91 kilometers an hour when it struck the passenger side of the southbound SUV. The Crown Attorney said a witness described the collision as an explosion and that the force was so severe that the front of the SUV was almost removed. The SUV, which had its brakes engaged just prior to the collision, was football kicked over 53 meters, the court heard. Singh was transported to a health center as a precaution because, let's make sure he's okay, according to the Crown Attorney, but police were told he would not be able to provide a statement until a later date. While staying at a friend's place in Winnipeg, the attorney claims Singh contacted the RCMP to arrange a time to provide a statement at the RCMP headquarters, but he never showed up. He had fled the country, in fact, the Crown Attorney said, according to August 28th bail hearing recording. Okay, so this is my mistake from earlier. He was told to surrender his passport, but he hadn't actually given a statement. Again, I read this as we're doing the video, so I shouldn't jump to conclusions. I'll do better at that next time, folks. The court had also heard allegation that Singh had manipulated and falsified his driving logs and that he exceeded the daily driving limit for commercial vehicle drivers the day prior to collision. None of the claims have been tested in court. Here's where it gets a little hypocritical. Wab Kinew criticizes the bail decision. You're the one who brought the problem here. Your governments, your rules, you guys just voted down in the House of Commons against this stuff. You're the ones who advocated for this. Wab Kinew and his buddies all advocated for this when Justin Trudeau put it in place. They all said, oh, it's so wonderful. They treat it like a case-by-case basis. This is why Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives wanted it repealed. Wab Kinew criticizes it. He's doing that for brownie points. Give me a break. Go home and beat up your wife again. Jeez. During question period Tuesday, Premier Wab Kinew weighed in on the decision to grant bail, saying he agreed with the Crown's comments that the release would endanger public confidence in the justice system. In this particular instance, I think we have to, with all respect we have for the justice system, encourage our justice and judges of the peace to reflect the role of their decisions that we'll have when they've been learned to the public, Kinew said. They have an important role to play in ensuring the impartiality and fairness of our justice system, but I would remind those sitting on the bench that you have to make your decisions based on the world as it is, not how you'd like it to be. I mean, that's a fair statement. If it wasn't tied to so much hypocrisy, I'd probably say good for him for saying that. But the problem is they caused this problem. They encouraged and enabled this problem. Wab Kinew should have to step down for saying, you know what, I've advocated for this bail stuff. I'll leave. Manitoba Bar Association denounced Kinew's comments, saying they pose a risk to the independence of the judiciary. It's concerning when politicians offer commentary on cases before the courts that have not been adjudicated. This is something Pierre Poilievre gets a lot of guff for when they say, how come he isn't commenting on things? How come he isn't commenting on other things? The problem is there's no illegality for them commenting on it. They're just not supposed to. But they can, as seen here with Wab Kinew. Such comments undermine the rule of law and ignore the presumption of innocence. Furthermore, it could ultimately affect the fairness of a trial, which doesn't just affect the accused person, it also affects victims and loved ones. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Where's the picture of this guy? This guy here. Where is it? I just had it. Just had it. This guy here should be locked up and have the key thrown away. You don't get bail. You don't get bail after fleeing the country for months, eluding police, and then coming back to the country. How do you come back to the country? It doesn't even say why he returned to Canada. Did he think he could sneak in again? Did he return because he felt bad? I'd sure like to know what brought him back to Canada or how he was apprehended. I'll do my best to dig into this and see if I can get the more detailed story as to how this arrest went forward. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Should this monster have been given bail, or should they be locking him up until his court hearing since he's already fled the country once? If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to hit that button, leave a thumbs up or a comment down below. It helps push this video out past the YouTube censors. They get mad anytime we talk about Indian truck drivers. So I could definitely use your help with the thumbs up in the comments. Join me live here on the channel each and every Wednesday and Friday for Unhinged Fringe on Wednesdays, Friday Night Fringe on Fridays, where I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we sit down and talk about everything happening this week in politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as your Q&A within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you each and every week. I most importantly look forward to chatting with you this week, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, every Wednesday and Friday here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.